Anne Nicholson, and I'm the Interim Dean of the Faculty of IT at Monash University. It's my pleasure to welcome you all today to Monash Open Day and our faculty. And today I'd like to give you insights into what IT professionals really do and why a future in information technology is exciting, dynamic, and rewarding. Let me just share my slides. So first, I want to begin by respectfully asking you to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the lands where each of you are watching this presentation from today. I'm located at, actually I'm in Clayton, near where the Monash Clayton campus is. So I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri and Boonwurrung peoples of the Kulin Nation and pay respects to the elders past, present and emerging. So now I'll begin my presentation. I'm going to talk to you about what your future in information technology might look like. Monash University is unique in the group of 8 universities in Australia for having a dedicated faculty of IT. We're 30 years young, but we have contributed significantly to Monash's reputation as Australia's most innovative university, a title we've proudly held for 3 years in a row. And our world-leading IT faculty has been recognised in many ways. We rank in the top 100 in the world in computer science and information systems, and we're the only university to be rated above world standard in every category in information and computing sciences. And we've won numerous awards for our innovation. We're also really proud of the fact that we have strong employment rates for our graduates. 74% of our undergraduates are employed full-time within 4 months of completing their course. And for postgraduates, it's 63%. So year after year, it's really great to see a large majority of our students launch their careers with success shortly after graduation. Monash and our faculty are very international. Monash has campuses and centres all around the world, which you can see here on this slide. Our staff and students from our faculty come from over 90 countries, and we're educating the largest group of women IT students out of the group of 8. What that means is that for our domestic students, when you come to study at Monash, you really experience the diversity brought by our university's international presence. And it means you're connected to an international network of alumni. Wherever you go in the world, wherever your career might take you, you'll likely meet some of our 38,000 plus alumni that are spread across 155 countries. And we also offer a lot of opportunities to study abroad, although of course in the current situation that's not really possible, but we have a great study abroad program. So at Monash, we really focus on putting knowledge into practice and providing you with the support as you need it during your studies. So we really want you to graduate with a competitive edge that helps you stand out in the job market. So some of our real world work experience programs include our studio experience, our industry experience studio projects, the Monash Industry Team Initiative, where students do summer placements in teams with companies, and a really popular and long-established industry-based learning program, also known as IBL. In the IBL program, students go on placements for 6 months, working in companies and earning credits towards their degree while being paid a scholarship. So it's for credit and you get paid. And our IBL students often say it's really like they felt part of the team where they were working, but their ideas were appreciated and valued, and they saw their work embedded in real industry solutions. And the best part is many of them get job offers with either that company or one of the other IBL partners before they even graduate. Another reason why more students choose Monash is because of its supportive environment. So we have a range of IT student clubs to suit your passions and interests, whether it's coding, championing equity, whether it's cybersecurity or e-gaming. So there's groups around a whole range of interests that give you opportunities to make friends, work on personal projects, connect with industry, and develop your technical and soft skills. We also have initiatives like Tech Squads, which is a peer mentoring scheme. We have dedicated scholarships, we have career support, and we have alumni mentoring programs to help enhance the employability of our students, to prepare you for a future in IT and to support you in your studies. So make sure that you visit our student and industry experience booths to learn more about these opportunities. We're also really proud of our world-class teaching facilities. So here's some pictures of our technology and design building, which is where one of our departments and our faculty is located. This opened fairly recently, and it offers modern teaching spaces, because taking notes in traditional lecture theatres is not how students learn today. So our students work together in teams, interacting with the teaching staff, and our buildings and facilities reflect that modern teaching environment. So during this open day, we have a number of different booths and events available to you to enjoy and get information from. And we also have people who will be able to speak to you about what you need to know to decide on what course to apply for. So there'll be information on courses, student experience, the industry experience, explaining our double degrees, and so on. We also have some fun and immersive activities at our booths. For example, the AI mirror. You know, if you've ever wondered how artificial intelligence could read and interpret your emotions, then try out our interactive mirror ritual. Using AI, it detects your emotions and writes you a poem. And I'm a little bit skeptical myself about the quality of some of the poems, but see what you think. And certainly a great way to encourage us to reflect on our feelings. So we have some other auditorium events and videos available that will cover, there'll be live presentations and other videos across the Open Day site to tell you about that key course information, find out about the connections with industry, get experiences for our current students, and so on. And we have our student services staff, our admission staff, and some of our academics are available to chat to you live if you have questions, so please reach out. So I want to talk to you a little bit more now about what information technology is and what sort of careers might be available to you if you were to choose to do one of our courses. So the world is going through a digital revolution, which has just accelerated in recent years. So organizations across the globe are realizing just how integral technology is to their success. And as a result, the demand for IT professionals is skyrocketing. And in fact, IT roles are among the top emerging jobs. So here's some information about that. The Australian Computer Society recently revealed that Victoria is likely to be one of the leaders in IT jobs growth over the next 5 years. And despite COVID-19, Australia's technology workforce numbers have jumped to more than 800,000. So, you know, we've seen a 4.3% increase from last year. And not really surprising, given the importance of digital technology for enabling us to continue learning, working, conducting our lives while we're dealing with the pandemic. So there's a impending gap between the need for an extra 60,000 technology workers every year and gap between that need and the number of IT graduates that Australia produces. So the number of job opportunities and the demand do look promising. And what's more, the salaries for IT professionals enjoy are above the average of a full-time Australian worker who earns around 92,000 a year. So junior IT specialists can find them making 85,000, and this can, you know, as you climb through the ranks, can reach, you know, up to 200,000 or more. So, you know, really well-paid profession. So here's some of the fastest growing professions these sort of names of jobs that we wouldn't have even thought of perhaps only a few years ago. So drawn from LinkedIn's Jobs on the Rise and top emerging jobs reports, we have web developers, games developers, AI specialists, cybersecurity specialists, data scientists, user experience designers, software engineers. These are sort of the job titles of the jobs in the digital world. So I'll talk to you a bit more about this later, but the kinds of things that you learn in your degrees that might lead you to go into one of these jobs, you'll also learn IT expertise that that you need for these professional jobs that are really highly transferable. So they're valuable across a range of industries and projects. You're not sort of stuck in one sector. You'll have opportunities to move sectors and to move between jobs as you progress your career. Now, courses are designed to equip you with the skills in these sought after disciplines. In particular, our Bachelor of Information Technology is very comprehensive and flexible, gives you the chance to choose certain areas of specialization, as well as getting that basic technical expertise, and you can choose to specialize in software development, web development, cybersecurity, and more, sort of mapping into those jobs that are listed here. And if you're interested in, for example, our computer science courses, that includes a specialization in data science for that data scientist job. So these are the things that we're teaching to feed into those professions. So some people who work in IT do work in companies that only do software development, but many more people do their IT jobs in a company that's there in another sector. So that might be because IT has been applied in healthcare or in e-commerce or law enforcement, agriculture, banking and finance, education. So there's people that work in IT, but in those specific sectors. Just using examples from our own faculty, for law enforcement and community safety, we have researchers who are partnering with the Australian Federal Police. Might sound pretty grim, but what they're actually doing is using AI to look at images, computer images, and to identify, disturbing material. And that has the benefit of kind of catching the people that are doing the wrong thing, but also reducing the trauma experienced by those law enforcement officers who will otherwise have to view that disturbing material. When it comes to finance, our cybersecurity and blockchain experts have invented brand new cryptocurrencies and exchange system. And in education, our adaptation to online teaching is a good example of how we're applying the technology in our own practice. We're also enhancing our curricula with learning analytics. We have researchers who collaborate with people in the agricultural industry, for example, by mapping the pollination patterns of bees, and that will improve our food production and food security. So let me talk to you about a specific example of how IT is shaping the future of healthcare. And this is a project that I'm actually involved in myself. So the project's about using AI to better identify cardiac arrest in emergency calls. So a cardiac arrest is when the heart stops beating and every minute, every second then counts. So this project's a government-funded project that we're working in collaboration with Ambulance Victoria, and it's just an example of that kind of research industry collaboration project that can really make a difference to real-world problems. So here is a picture of the system architecture. Now, I know it's a bit technical, so please ignore all the details, not expecting you to really sort of follow that, but the basic structure is, I'm just going to turn and look at my other diagram, is that we've got someone making a call to a call taker who's talking to them and trying to find out what happens. So we get an audio signal and that goes in and starts working its way through the system. So there's a speech to text component. There's a dialogue system because there's a conversation happening between the call taker and the caller that the system has to understand. We take audio and text and they're streamed into an AI, what they call deep learning system. There's this classifier here that's been trained on 30,000 real calls. So it's learnt from those number of real calls, what are the things that are said that would indicate that it's a cardiac arrest call. So this project also highlights how any real complex system that we want to deliver, I mean, the AI bit's all there at the top, but it involves developing a real system, so software design, development, testing, and reliability. So the AI itself uses a cloud-based high-performance computing. So, you know, we have to send stuff up to the cloud, which somewhere there's a whole lot of machines clunking away doing that AI. Because of that, there's a whole lot of issue with system and data security, because we're sending real calls to train that AI system, or real calls to actually in the future help the call takers. We don't want anyone accessing that data. Obviously, there's people's names, there's addresses, there's really critical things happening that people are making these emergency calls. So privacy and cybersecurity is really important. And because we've got a system where a person is interacting with software, it's what we call human in the loop. That call taker is interacting with the software. So interface design and usability are really key. So what sort of courses might lead you to a career creating these kinds of AI systems? Well, Monash offers relevant degrees both at the undergraduate and postgraduate level. So our Bachelor of Computer Science has a data science specialisation, which includes subjects and things that are really to do with AI and machine learning. And we have a specialist master's in data science, one in data science and one in AI. And how could you go about learning the kinds of things to have a career designing and building this kind of system? So there's the AI part, and then there's this is a real software system that people have to use. So we have a range of undergraduate and master's courses that are listed here that would feed into those different elements I talked about. So this is the project team for that project. And here you can see pictures of the academic researchers from Monash and from the Faculty of IT, coming from all of the departments in our faculty, working on those cross-cutting themes such as digital health and AI for social good. So this also shows you, this project's an example of how all our Monash academics, because we're a research intensive university, can bring that cutting edge research expertise into our teaching. So Michael Wybrow, who's part of the research team, is also the director of our industry-based learning program. We've got people who can tell you about that industry-based learning program elsewhere at this open day. So what I wanted to talk about next was this kind of skills that our IT graduates need. Now, of course, you need great technical skills, but it's not just around knowing how to code. We produce IT graduates who have the fundamental problem solving and analytic skills to sort of take a need somewhere in society, in the business, whatever, and produce a solution. And we also need what we call soft skills, the communication skills, because you've got to work with your teammates, your clients, to produce that solution. And obviously working in diverse and often distributed teams, remote teams, as our AI project team has done since last year, that's really important too. So we teach these soft skills through experience and hands-on activity, through group assignments, studio projects, the industry-based learning projects, and so on. So we really support you during your studies to develop these key capabilities alongside your technical expertise. Monash also has a very broad range of double degrees and majors. So these allow you to pursue multiple interests and to get more qualifications in less time. So in fact, a lot of our double degree students choose Monash because of, we have a really large range and it's very flexible compared to some other universities. So there are a number of study options for you. So visit the booths and chat to our course advisors about what might be right for you. I hope I've given you a good idea of why Monash is a destination of choice for IT study. Just going to stop sharing my screen now. You can see me. Okay, so not only are our courses designed and delivered by world-class experts, but we also focus on making your time at university a memorable one. You know, it should be, you know, a really positive experience. We want to get you job ready and with in-demand skills and experience. So we have a vibrant, diverse and inclusive community that's waiting for you. And we can't wait to nurture your potential through that combination of real world work experience, mentoring programs and scholarships, as well as sort of other co-curricular opportunities. It's been great to have an opportunity to speak to you all today. I hope you make the most of what we're offering at this sort of open day session. Use it to explore the course options, find out a bit more about Monash, and we can't wait to welcome you to Monash. I'm really happy now to stay on and take some questions, which I believe that you can put into the Q&A or chat, and someone's going to pass them on to me in some form. Okay, now I can see them. All right, so I've now got them passed on to me. So I'm being asked about what sort of maths that you need and what the pathways that are available are if you haven't done higher level maths. So it depends on which degree, how much maths is required. So the computer science degree does have a requirement to have done maths methods. And that's partly because in that computer science degree, you also do first year uni maths, a couple of subjects, one in first semester and one in second. So you need to have that maths methods in order to be able to progress to that. If you haven't done math methods, then it might be that the better option for you is our Bachelor of Information Technology, which is probably a little bit more applied and a little bit less theoretical. I don't want you to think that the computer science degree is all theory, because it's not by any means, but probably the B Infotech is for people that are more interested in just in developing the solutions rather than the theoretical background behind it, which you need the maths for. I'm just looking down at the chat. So we've also got, okay, so the difference between the Bachelor of IT and Computer Science. So I think, I alluded to that with the answer to the maths question. Of course, there's common elements. Pretty much anyone who graduates with a degree from our faculty will get some basic programming skills, will get some basic introduction to systems and cybersecurity. They'll do project management. There's a couple of other subjects that are pretty common across them, but there's a difference in the sort of the focus. So in computer science, partly reflected by that maths requirement, you learn about things to do with the building blocks of the software solutions, which is algorithms and data structures. You know, how do you put together a solution that turns into code that delivers the solution? So there's a theory around algorithms. You know, will they work? Will they stop? Will they run fast enough? That you learn about in the computer science. And in the Bachelor of IT, you might focus more in the software development major on good implementing and testing of those solutions, but you might not know as much about the theoretical background of the algorithms. In our software engineering degree, which is actually a specialization in the Bachelor of Engineering, but you're taught by the Faculty of IT academics for the second, third and fourth year, there's a bigger focus on the software testing and large scale software production. And in the Bachelor of Information Technology, it's structured around what we call majors and minors. So you have to do one major, and it could be software development, it could be networks and cybersecurity, it could be the games development and interactive media, or just trying to remember, business information systems. So you do a certain amount of study in that one area, that's your major. You do some other core units, and you can do a second major or a minor, like it's about half as much if you only do a minor. So you can sort of build up the degree the way you want it. You get a bit more flexibility. In computer science, there's two specializations. One is just basically more computer science. We call it advanced computer science. The other one's the data science I mentioned, which is where you do machine learning and AI stuff. And even in the computer science degree and in the B Infotech, we do allow a certain amount of elective space, so you can mix and match from across those degrees. So if you do computer science, but you want to do a games development minor, you can put that in there, giving you that flexibility, or you can do studies in all of our degrees from other faculties. You can do some subjects from arts or science. As long as you've got the prereqs for them, we let you do them. So hopefully that will give you a little bit of an idea. And I think there's another presentation later that will talk more about the details of our undergraduate degree. So I think that starts in just a few minutes. So pop over to that as well. Are there any more questions for me? So I think that's all for the moment. Hopefully you've got a bit of a sense of the Faculty of IT, what we do, and why IT is an exciting area to go into. Please go and listen to the more information about our courses, or pop over to the booths and have a chat to the course advisors to help you decide what course might be right for you and how to apply. Good luck.